So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you are. Uh, Guys, smash the like button on this video. Thank you for showing your support. Thank you for smashing the like button. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate all your support. It means a lot. As you guys know, as you guys are aware that I always try to get back to you. I always try to comment in the comment section because I appreciate every single one of you that supports the channel, every single one of you that likes, comments, because it really helps me grow. So I appreciate it and helps us grow, because I feel like we're a team. We're doing this together. We're growing together. Guys, I want to come on to Jake Paul. I want to come on to Jake Paul and Tommy Fury and what Jake Paul had to say about Gervonta Davis. But guys, what I want to get out there before I get into the video is that I like to think that you guys think that I'm fairly neutral. And hence why I think a lot of you guys like me. I've obviously attracted a lot of subscribers, you know, due to... I'm a big fan of Canelo. I think I made that quite clear. But I'm also somebody that says it how it is. I've also said to you guys openly that I thought Canelo lost the first fight at Golovkin. So I don't really take sides. You know, I don't really take sides. I say it how it is, and I keep it as neutral and as fair as possible. So when people say that they thought Cruz won the fight and Gervonta won the fight, I genuinely thought Gervonta won that fight. It's not any bias behind it. I genuinely thought he won it, and I think there's a mixed reaction. Some people thought Gervonta, some people thought Cruz. But when I give my opinion, it's not any, there's no bias behind it. There's just me giving you my honest opinion. I'm not Mexican, I'm not American, so it doesn't, like I said, the only fighter that comes from my background, being a British Pakistani, is Amir Khan. So apart from that, and he's the only real top tier fighter that made it to the top, I mean, world championship level. No one else has really, from my particular background, made it. You know, of course, there's been British fighters that have been world champions and, you know, have achieved a lot. But I'm talking British Pakistani. I don't think there's only been Amir Khan. So I don't really go on, you know, like, I don't really go on, oh, he's from my background. I'm more of a guy that likes somebody's style. So I get attracted to somebody's style. Like Amir Khan was not just the fact that he was from my background. That obviously made me more connected to him, but I loved his style. I loved his style. He was exciting. He was very good to watch. Same with Manny Pacquiao. I loved his style. Same with Marcus Maidana. I loved his style. That's when I really like a fighter, when I like their style. I like their style of boxing. I like the way they box and the fact that they give excitement, and I need to find it pleasing. Like, I used to love Amir Khan's hand speed. I used to find it very good to watch. Same with Pacquiao. I used to watch it very good to watch. Maidana, I used to love watching Maidana because Maidana was just an absolute animal. He used to come forward. He was just brilliant to watch. And Maidana was a guy that in many of Maidana's fights, he was hurt many times early on in his fights, and he used to come back and he used to either knock the guy out or he used to nearly knock the guy. With a Khan fight, he almost knocked Khan out. And the Josecito fight, Josecito had Maidana in a lot of trouble. Then Maidana came back and stopped him. Same with the Victor Ortiz fight. Victor Ortiz had Maidana down, and Maidana ended up coming back and stopping him. This is what I loved about Maidana. Maidana was an absolute beast of a fighter. He was just a brilliant fighter to watch. Even Maidana against Mayweather. Maidana pushed Mayweather right to the, you know, I don't think anyone was able to push Mayweather the way Maidana pushed Mayweather, you know, in his last 10 fights. Who pushed Mayweather the way Maidana did? Maidana was a great fighter, and he's probably a little underappreciated, if I'm honest with you. I love Marcus Maidana. So when I was talking about Gervonta Davis and Cruz, I genuinely thought Gervonta Davis won the fight. I thought it was quite clear. That clear in the sense it was clear. I take that back. It wasn't clear. It was a very close fight that if it had been called a draw, I wouldn't have been angry about. I've seen a lot of people say, well, you know, aggression has to be effective aggression. And Cruz wasn't effective. He was missing a lot. But I thought he landed a lot as well. You know, it was a very close fight. Very, very close fight. But sometimes what happens is when the underdog does a lot better than what people were expecting him to do, automatically we start saying robbery and start saying, but when you break it down and you actually watch the fight, it's not so much of a robbery, it's a very close fight. But, I personally had the fight 7-5 to Gervonta. Some of you may have had it 7-5 to Cruz. Some of you may have had it a draw. It was very close. But what I don't like is when people say that it's a robbery, because that makes it look like one fighter's dominated and the fight, and none of them dominated that fight. You can't say that, and listen, someone made a point that the 116, 112 scorecards was laughable. I probably agree. I think that was a bit wide. Maybe it doesn't do justice to Isaac Cruz, who put in a great performance. But I'm not going to sit here and say I'm unhappy with the 7-5, 115, 113. I think it was very close, guys. I think it was very, very close. And I think probably, Gervonta probably nicked it if I on what I saw, what I saw. But coming to Jake Paul saying Gervonta lost. Obviously, we know that Jake and Mayweather and Gervonta, they have history. Gervonta is called Jake a clown. And Jake probably responded in a way saying that, I thought he lost the fight. I don't think he won. I thought he lost. And listen, it was a very, very close fight. There was a lot of people that actually legitimately thought Cruz won the fight. There was many people that thought Gervonta won the fight. But I don't think you can call it a robbery, especially when the fact that Gervonta was... See, when people say Gervonta is the champion, what champion? I don't quite understand. What belt does he hold at 135? Kambosos has all the belts. And Devin Haney, I don't know if the fight was at 135. I don't know what belt. What belt does he have at 135? So I'm a bit confused. It's like people were saying Gervonta is a champion, but Kambosos has 3 belts and Haney has 1. I don't understand. I don't understand. There's so many belts floating around. I'm confused. I'm a hardcore boxing fan that likes to think I know quite a bit about boxing, but I'm confused myself, to be brutally honest with you. I don't know what belt Gervonta had, to be honest, but Gervonta is a great fighter. I like Gervonta. I like his style. He's another fighter that I really like. His style is very exciting to watch. He's a crowd puller for sure. He's a crowd pleaser as well. But we need to see him in there now with some big names, and we need to see him, fight some of the top tier guys, because I think there's a lot of potential in Gervonta. I think there's a lot, I think that he can do a lot more. And I think the better the opponent, you may see a better Gervonta Davis. But coming on to the other news in the boxing world that broke today, Jake Paul and Tommy Fury is off. If you guys weren't aware, I'm pretty sure you guys are all aware that Jake Paul and Tommy Fury is off. Apparently Tommy Fury has suffered an injury. He's actually showed the scans as well to prove that, he was actually injured. So, Tyron Woodley apparently comes in. I was looking forward to the Jake Paul Tommy Fury fight. I know a lot of you guys are going to say, oh, well, that's not proper. No, I was actually looking forward to it because I actually think they were 2 evenly matched guys. I know the Furies were saying that, Jake is not on Tommy's levels, and he basically was saying that Tommy was way above Jake Paul. I didn't really see it like that. I think they were 2 novices, 2 guys, making their way in the sport. And I think it would have been an even contest and a great fight. I think Jake Paul's made some serious strides since I first seen him fight. I think he's taking this seriously. I think he's, training hard. And a lot of people seem to think he's trolling the boxing world. I actually think that at the minute he might be trolling, but the fact is I think he's taking it seriously, and you never know, this may become serious in a couple of years' time, because I do think that there's definitely athletic ability in Jake Paul. I'm not gonna sit here and say he's gonna go on to become a world champion, but I definitely think that Jake Paul's an athletic kid, and I definitely think he could get to some kind of level, not necessarily championship level. That you can never say. You don't even know if Tommy Fury who's been fighting from a young age, can get to championship level. We just don't know. There was a lot of pressure on Tommy Fury for this fight because, he knew that he had a lot to lose. And what I mean by that is if he ended up losing to Jake Paul, it would have been fairly embarrassing for him, especially from the fighting family that he comes from. It would have been difficult for him, to take. But he's injured. I'm pretty sure they'll reschedule it for a future. But, right now, I think Tyron Woodley has stepped in. And listen, Tyron Woodley's probably made some serious money in the first fight, and now he's going to make some serious money in the second fight against Jake Paul. You'd like to think that Jake Paul should beat him comfortably this time, because Tyron Woodley is I'm not sure if he's been training. Was he already told that if one of them pulls out, you will come in and fight? Or did Jake already have him on standby? I don't know. Was he already training? I don't know. But it's one of those fights where Tyron Woodley probably thinks that he can come in on short notice and fight Jake Paul. What do you guys make of it? What do you guys make of Tommy Fury pulling out? Are you guys left upset? Are you guys not happy? Are you guys left feeling that, what, we wanted to see Tommy and Jake Paul? There was a great narrative being built up. It was being hyped up into a big fight, and all of a sudden it's been it's off, when Tyron Woodley steps in. I am interested. I would love to see this fight in the future. I really want to see it. I think it would be a good fight for both of them. Good financially. I think it would be big. Let's see how that affects the pay-per-view, though. The fact that now that Tyron Woodley has come in, is that going to affect the pay-per-view and how big? Because I reckon Tommy and Jake would have been massive pay-per-view guys. I think a lot of people would have bought it, but I don't know whether that'll have an impact on the pay-per-view now. But, Tyron Woodley and Jake did some big numbers last time, so I think a lot of people would tune in. I think the fans of Jake Paul are going to tune in, and we know Jake Paul has a huge fan base, so they're probably going to tune in regardless. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it. I don't think Jake Paul's bad for boxing like people make out. I don't think it's as bad as what people make out. I think it's a guy trying to make a career. The only difference is that normally a guy at his level doesn't get the attention that he's getting. The reason why he's getting the attention he's getting, because he's basically a celebrity. He's a social media sensation. So he's getting a lot more attention, a lot more coverage than what a normal novice at his stage would get. And that's because he's built himself up. He's built himself into a star, and he wanted to take boxing as a career. Now, if someone that's a superstar decides, what, I want to take up boxing, I want to start training, take up boxing, but he's already famous from something else, he'd also get a lot of attention because he's already a massive name. So I don't see what the issue is, to be honest. I think you've got to give Jake Paul a lot of credit. The fact that, he's already big in another field, which is not as dangerous as this field that he's coming into, and he's putting in the work, he's training hard, he's willing to go inside the ring, and you've got to respect anyone that's willing to go inside the ring. So I don't know why people hate on Jake Paul so much. I think Jake Paul's great, and I think he's great for boxing. I don't know why he's not great for boxing. I like it. I think it's, as long as they're fighting guys, of their own kind of level, and not fighting, Logan Paul, Mayweather. I'm not too high on that. But Jake Paul v Tommy Fury, I like that. I think it's great. But what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.